Hey guys, quick reminder, November 5th, Saturday night, I'm playing the Gramercy Theater in New York City. Still some tickets available. Go to PeteCorreale.com and you can get your tickets right there. Then I'm playing the next weekend in Fredonia at the Opera House. Then I'm playing in Chicago. I'm playing at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. I'm playing at Shank Hall, Milwaukee. Go to PeteCorreale.com. Coming out to L.A., Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm loading up. Just go to my site. You'll see where I'm coming. But the big one coming up, November 5th, Gramercy Theater. Hope you can make it. Let's get back to the show.
This is the Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Correale and Sebastian Maniscalco.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the great Billy Gardell. Billy, can you hear us?
I got you, Pete. How are you, brother?
Good, bro. Sebastian, are you seeing this? Wait, it's unbelievable.
I'm not seeing him on the screen.
You're not seeing him on the screen because he's so skinny you can't even see him. You look awesome, bro.
Yeah, I went from a young Jackie Gleason to an old Color of Money Paul Newman.
Nice. Do
Oh
you
my
see him yet,
God.
Sebastian?
Is that
You see
you?
him?
They don't even
What's up,
recognize you.
Sebastian? What?
What's up? I don't even recognize you.
I lost 138 pounds, cuz.
Wow, bro, you look great, man.
Thanks, man. I feel like I got out of jail. I feel I'm really grateful, man.
So what are you doing? How'd you lose the weight? What happened?
Well, when COVID hit, and it was before the vaccines, they put that checklist up on the board of the people that it might kill the quickest.
Yeah.
And I had a full bingo card. I had everything but over 65. I had all of them: smoking, sleep apnea, asthma, obese, type 2 diabetes. And I said to my wife, you know what? And I was on diabetic medication at that time. I was on that for about a year and a half, and that helped me lose like 35 pounds. But I was just so big, I couldn't move. Like when I tried to exercise, I would end up hurting myself. That's how big I was, man. I'm pretty sure you could see me from the space shuttle at that point. So I said to my wife, I swear on my kid. I swear on my kid who's the most important thing in my life. I said, I swear on my kid, if we get through this to a medicine, I'm going to make a huge change. So once that happened, I went in and I elected to have gastric bypass surgery, weight loss surgery. And I did that a year ago, July 16th. And I've done every single thing that they tell you to do. And I want to be clear too, that it's not a solution. I want to tell people that if you're heavy and you're thinking about this, it's not the answer, but it's a bridge and a tool that will give you a window to change your life. You still have to work on the mental part. You got to take vitamins every day. You got to get 70 ounces of water every day, 70 grams of protein every day. You can't eat sugar. Like, you have to change everything. But if you do that, you get this. Now, everything has a price. I'm lifting weights now 3 days a week, and I'm walking every other day of the week. But I got a lot of extra skin around my, I look like one of them fucking squirrels that if they flew off the building, they glide down. That's where I'm at right now. But I'm working on it, man. And I'll face that when I got to face that. But now, man, my cholesterol's down. My blood pressure's good. My diabetes are gone. My heart's good. And I think I gave myself probably 25 years on the planet, man. And it's been the best journey I've ever taken. I've overcome a lot of fucking monsters in my life. Can I swear on this? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
of course.
I swear,
okay,
bro.
I didn't know what the rules were. You got to remember,
watching.
I'm from the original timeline of The Tonight Show. I don't know what I'm doing on these. So tell me if I'm doing something wrong. So, but I'm free, man. And I now, I tell you, there's moments, like besides the health stuff, like not having to take a deep breath when you tie your shoes, being able to go up the steps and grab something you forgot and come down without it being an opus. I was in Hawaii with my family at the beginning of the summer, and I got to jump in the water with them and go swim and see sea turtles. And I know that sounds hippy dippy, but for a fat guy who used to have to sit on the dock and go, you take a picture and I'll see you guys when you get back. I'll be
why couldn't you?
It's amazing.
Why couldn't you go in the water though as a heavy set fella? I don't get that one.
When you're 350 pounds, Pete, you get 4 feet from that boat. You ain't got the energy to swim back. You understand?
Oh.
So just the movement and to be able to go out and do these things and take walks with my wife and and to set a good example for my son. And like, it's been revelatory, man. It's been truly revelatory.
Now, what
okay.
about, Billy, you're so sweet that it gets hard to joke around with shit with you because you just,
break balls.
it's literally like a sermon right there. But what about the things like sliding into an airplane seat? Are you like, oh my God, I got space on the sides. This is insane.
Bro, I've never seen the armrest, Correale. I've never seen the armrest until this year. And I don't got to ask for it. I used to have to ask for that seatbelt extender. I had to throw that thing out like Indiana Jones' whip to get it around my waist, man. I don't have to do none of them. And I can sit there, cross my legs, and read the paper like a gentleman. It's the best.
Wow. What an inspiration.
It's the best, man. It's the best. Now, all I got left is smoking. You know what? People have to usually quit one thing in their life. I gave up drugs. I gave up alcohol. I had to get emotionally sober. I quit eating, and all I got left is cigarettes. I think if I ever do another stand-up special, I'm just going to call it Billy Gardell Quitter, because I've spent my whole life just quitting shit. That's what I do.
So Billy, are you? One second, Pete. Are you? Speaking of stand-up, are you out touring? Do you do it at a local comedy club anymore, or is it just something of the past?
Thank you for asking that, Sebastian. I ain't been up in 2.5 years, and
wow,
I put everything on pause to get healthy. I stopped everything except my current job on my show, Bob Hart's Abishola. But everything else, I just stopped because I needed those weekends and I needed those off weeks to take care of myself. And when you're a stand-up, and you guys know this, two things have to happen. One, you have to be an animal. To be good at this, I never wanted to be a so-so comic. And I always felt like if I was in a batting order, I was probably a 3-4 hitter. I did pretty good. But I never hit that great level. I never hit that next notch up, whatever that is, where you're at, Sebastian. I never hit that rare air. And that was okay with me because I also found out that I have such a love of acting. I mean, since I was watching Gleason with my dad when I was a kid on the Honeymooners, I just wanted to be in a sitcom, and that's my jam. Now, stand-up I love and respect because I think it's the hardest job in show business. You mess up in stand-up, ain't nobody coming to give you a cup of coffee while they reconfigure the lights. It's you, and it's live or die every minute of the performance. And to me, that's why I have the most respect for stand-up comics. And it's who brought me to the dance. I will always love her the most, always. However, I've found a joy in acting that I used to get when I was going to try to write new jokes. I found that same joy. So I've been kind of at peace not doing it. And I didn't say I'm never going to do it again. I'm just saying right now, no. But I went to see a good friend of mine. I took my wife to see Ian Bagg at the Improv not too long ago. And he had this killer set. And I got that weird, it never leaves you. Like I got that weird twitch in my shoulder. Like, where's my guns? Where's my badge? You know what I mean? And so lately I've been tinkering around in my notebook, and I just kind of made a deal with myself. Just when you get a funny thought that you think's funny, jot it down. And then in 6 months, we'll see where things are. And maybe this summer I may dip my toe in the pond again. I don't know yet.
Well, I have to say, I think I saw one of the best sets I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass that you're on the show, what have you, but it was in Montreal, and you completely, from literally the time you got on stage to the time you left stage, completely destroyed the room. And I'm telling you people right now, if you've never seen Billy do stand-up comedy, and if he never comes back again, it would be a huge gap in the comedy community for this man never to be up on stage again. He's one of the best that I've ever seen do it. And you know what it is too?
You're very kind. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. It's the amount of laughs the guy gets per every 10 seconds. It's like, some comedians, they sit up there and you're like, okay, when's it going to come? This is like consistent rolling laughter. And I'm glad you found another passion in acting, but selfishly, we in the comedy community would like to see, Billy Gardell come back and
that's
and
very high praise from you too. When I started in the late 80s, I felt like, well, me and Daryl Hammond used to sit and watch Richard Pryor live at Long Beach, and we would time the laughs and applause breaks per minute, and we would try. Now nobody's going to hit that. To me, that's the holy grail. That's that performance. To me, in my opinion, that one and Carlin jamming in New York are probably my two favorite all times. But that Pryor performance was always something to shoot for, and I always thought, man, if I could get, like, Pryor was getting 10 laughs and 3 applause breaks per minute. Like, I was like, if I could get like to 6 or 7 per minute and an applause break, that was the goal. Like, I wanted to do stand-up like somebody plays linebacker. I want to break your fucking ribs. I don't want to go into a club and hear, that's a clever way to put words together. No, I wanted to go, oh, fuck, this guy's killing me. Because those were the guys that I saw when I started. They could just break the room and take the fucking air out of the room. And those were the cats that I wanted to be like. So I tried to emulate that rhythm. And what I found is, a buddy of mine said, when I wrote my special and ran all that stuff by him. And he said to me, he said, Gardell just rips the fucking bone out of the meat. He ain't looking for a lot of flowers around it. And I wasn't. I want to get right to that punch. I just want to hit you. And to me, when you can, on those nights, and you guys know, you guys are both great comedians. So your 80% is better than most of these humps out on the road now at fucking 120%. That's just the truth of the game. It's the NFL. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But when you have those nights where everything's firing, when you own them so bad that you can get them with a look, before you even start, or an extra pause or a breath, and you're in that moment. That was always the goal for me. That's what I wanted to be. And I think I got up as high as I could probably get, but who knows? Maybe like there's one last lap around the track in there for me. I'm not saying no to nothing, but right now I think I might be happier than I've ever been. And, my kid's in college and he's no trouble. The wife and I are doing great after 21 years, and I couldn't have put that woman through more, and she's still by my side and smiles at me once in a while. And I got a good job, and it's hard to do stand-up when you're happy about everything.
That's the truth. But yeah, you are a powerhouse, bro. You'll be back. You'll want to come back, and you'll do it again. There's no doubt.
I did. I won't lie. I got the itch because, as a comic, sitting down in the crowd is weird for us. And watching a whole show, you just start twitching a little. You're like, hey, maybe I should get up there, Yeah. And then I get home to my nice house and I take my shoes off and ESPN's on and it's over.
I gotta ask a quick question about the smoking. All right. Do
Yeah.
you think, because we're big fans of Sinatra too, and I know you hosted the Sinatra thing on Seriously Sinatra. I don't know if it's still up there, but
by the way, thank you for listening, and thank you for the notes you gave me. I told you before, you'd be a great home plate ump. You call balls and strikes. You're fair on both sides of the ball, and I appreciated what you taught me.
Well, Sebastian, he hosted this thing for an hour, and I listened to it in my hotel room over some tall boys. And then I left a very long, drunk critique. And Billy's just so nice. He's like, "Thank you, I value your pain." I'm like, I'm on the phone with my wife, going, "Oh man, I feel like he's upset. I was just busting balls, man." But
a man who is not coachable cannot win a championship, brother.
Now, but do you think subconsciously, if Sinatra never smoked and Dean Martin never smoked, that it might be a little easier to phase out on the smokes?
Yeah, all those guys, man. I mean, everybody I grew up watching, Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason, they all got a cigarette. Johnny Carson used to have a cigarette cup on his desk and the cocktails. But, when I realized that wasn't true, though? I quit drinking 14 years ago, and it was when I was with you guys on the Jameson Whiskey Tour. And I figured if I could quit drinking when I'm sponsored by Jameson Whiskey, surrounded by guys I want to drink with, then I'm going to be okay. And it proved to me that I could still be funny. And ironically, I used to be able to put him back, even like towards before Mike and Molly and all that stuff. Like, my reputation was changing from he's funny to, hey, he drinks a lot. that guy drinks a lot. And I didn't want to become that guy. But I didn't think I'd be funny when I put the cocktail down. And then after I did, 2 years after I stopped drinking, I did a half-hour special. I did an hour-long special. And then I got Mike and Molly. So I probably should have quit about 20 years earlier.
Wow.
But that's just me. I don't take that away from nobody. I mean, look, some people can handle it. I just didn't know how to have one of anything. My philosophy was if one's good, I bet 1,000 are great. And I just couldn't, I couldn't regulate it. That was my problem. But once I let that go and I stepped out there, and all of a sudden I was at a different place. I was more terrified than I've ever been. But once I got it, and then I started to build confidence, like, hey, you can do this. You don't just need to be the guy drinking in the corner. But to your point, Brando, Newman, Dennis Hopper, any cool rock star I ever liked, cocktail and a cigarette, man. It was the culture. It was just the culture. And don't get me wrong, I loved every minute of it. I loved every single minute of it. I did. Just it got to a point where I wasn't controlling it, and I had to look at that because I was going to lose my wife and kid, and they're not nothing on this earth's worth losing them, because with them, I always have something that's more important than my business. And if I have something that's more important than my business, this can't define me. They define me. Right. And so that was the change. No, sorry, I'm not very funny on these fucking podcasts.
No, bro, I'm telling you right now, we don't even need the funny. This for the Pete and Sebastian show listeners, their head is spinning because they're sitting going, I got to get my life together. I mean, this is motivational. I'm sitting over here going, should I stop drinking? I mean, this.
I feel like I'm driving with my dad and I'm sitting shotgun, just going, okay, Dad, all right, you're right, I will. Oh, shit. Little Springsteen's playing Your Hometown in the background.
Now,
there you go.
I spoke to Billy when he was in Hawaii because I wanted to pick his brain a little bit on the Chuck Lorre thing. And I didn't want to take too much of your time, but selfishly.
Never.
You have done now 2 shows with this man. I'm embarking on a process with him.
Yes.
Do you just leave this man alone and he just creates his magic and he just gives you the script and you go, okay, or is there a lot of collaboration with this guy, or is he just a guru and you leave him alone?
Here's how my relationship works with Chuck, and this is why he's brilliant. You don't have to. This is my suggestion to you. Trust that this man is fantastic at what he does. When you play for Chuck Lorre, it's like being signed for the Yankees versus riding a AAA bus somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Everything has so much experience behind it that the creation part comes natural, because the more he gets to know you, Sebastian, the more he's going to know what to write for you. And by the way, you have another fantastic writer on your show who's been with Chuck through Mom and 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory, Nick Mackay, who's another great guy, and a Buffalo guy, Correale. You like him. He's another great guy. But here's the thing I always do, man. My philosophy was always, this guy, when I got to Mike and Molly, I was like, this guy's done the biggest television shows since Norman Lear. So I'm probably going to let him have the right of way. I don't think he needs a lot of input from me. And that was the right play. And then what happened as we worked together and we got closer, I was able to go up and say, hey, Chuck, and I do it so rarely, because I'm telling you, you're going to see too, because the writing teams that he puts together, Sebastian, it's like a farm league. The kids that were delivering my script on Mike and Molly are now full-blown writers and producers on Young Sheldon. Like, he brings them up through the system. So the more I just trusted and did what he said, he knew he could trust me. And so then it became collaborative, where I could go, hey, Chuck, could I say this on this particular line? And he'd say, yeah, give it a try. Or I'd say, I can't get this one out of my, like, sometimes just who you are when you got a line, it comes out of your mouth like a mouthful of marbles. So he said, can we adjust that, because I can't get this one out right? And that honesty and that trust built over the years. And I'm on a fucking Cal Ripken streak at this point. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think all you got to do is trust in your talent, which you truly have. Trust in the fact that he's going to assemble the best writing team that you can. Nothing is guaranteed, but go in there every day knowing that it's ending, and treat it like that. Treat every day like it's ending. I told the cast of this new one when we started 4 years ago, look, it's ending. So what you do today counts. Don't concern yourself with where it's going to be put on, how many people are going to see. You don't have any power over any of that shit. All you have power over is what you bring to the performance. And the more you work with him, the more he's going to see you, the more he's going to hear you. Bakai's another great guy who's going to do that for you. And then you'll develop that rapport. You don't have to be completely silent, but trust in the process that this man absolutely knows what he's doing.
Well,
and again, nothing's guaranteed. But if you go into it with that attitude, I think you have your best chance. Go ahead, Pete. Well, I'm sorry.
I don't want to put pressure on Sebastian, but correct me if I'm wrong. I remember you having a comment when they were wrapping up Mike and Molly, and you and I were talking, and it's about remembering lines. And you go, Petey, they were putting a blooper reel together at the end of Mike and Molly for when people messed up lines. They couldn't even find one on me.
I'm a psycho, dude. I'm a psycho. The editor came up to me and he goes, you got to throw me 5 or 6 lines. You got to flub up the next few weeks. He goes, I got nothing for the blooper reel. But I take pride in that, man. I like to run my routes, man. I don't like to, I know my words. And here's the other thing, and I'll give you this one too, Sebastian, and always take what you want, leave the rest. I don't care. But know your words so well before you hit that stage, and not during rehearsal. Carry your script during rehearsal. That's what rehearsal's for. But when it's time to shoot, know those words so fucking well backwards and forwards that you never have to reach for them, because what that allows is for you to play for those moments and those looks and those eyes, because you're so secure in your words, you have freedom to move about the stage. And I'll give you a little advice there. There's going to be 1 or 2 nuts in there that don't learn their lines, and you're going to be frustrated, but don't upset the apple cart. Just set the example.
Pete, this is like almost like a TED talk.
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't see that close. At certain times, I feel like I'm talking to Tony Robbins. I swear to God.
I'm a better guy than Tony Robbins.
No, I mean, listen, the guy inspires, and so do you. Now, Billy, you say, listen, I obviously haven't acted much, but even the few times I've done stuff, I go in a room, I memorize, I go, I think I got it. And my wife goes, hey, you want to go get pizza or something? I'm like, yeah, I got it. And then I go in and I don't know shit. So, like, how do you know when you really know? And by the way, bro, you memorize all those lines, then you got to do it the next week. And how do you do it?
I don't know, man. You know, I find I'm an auditory learner. So I can't just look at my lines and learn them. I'm auditory. So my buddy Joey O'Connell, who's been with me for 30 years, Saturday, we rehearse Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday at 11 a.m., without fail, we go through the whole script out loud. We do every page 3 times. Then we do every scene 3 times. Then we go through the whole thing, the whole block. And then when you go to sleep, it kind of percolates.
Right.
And I don't know what that is, but it sticks. Now, look, I don't know where my fucking car keys are half the time, but for some reason that process sticks with me. I'm very auditory. I have to hear the line out loud, because I think, and that'll play to your stand-up too, Sebastian, because it's music. Good stand-up is jazz. It has rhythms, beats, pauses, ups, downs. And the more you say it auditorily, the more you're able to hit that note. The more you're able to find that note, find that note, find that note. And the more auditory you do it, the more out loud you do it, then you'll hit one and go, oh shit, that's it. And something happens. Here's what will benefit you that only stand-ups have that actors don't. It's like if you say something just right on stage, it's locked in because you know it's going to get a laugh. The same process happens with acting. The more you do the lines, once you hit the line the way it sounds right to you, feels right to you, it locks in. And that's a gift from stand-up. I'm convinced of that.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of good notes there, just because going into this experience, not being so much of a seasoned actor and doing this on a regular basis, and running lines and remembering lines, for me, as I get older, I start to feel like, man, this isn't easy as it used to be when I was auditioning and when I was 25. I like read the lines, boom, they're in my head. Now I feel like I got to sit there with a highlighter and go, okay, Frank, today's the day. And then,
Again, man, it's just repetition and consistency, repetition.
Do you
and
ever black out, Billy?
What?
You ever doing a scene and you black out where you're so into the scene that you don't even know? You have to ask afterwards, did I hit all the lines? Like, because you were just so in it.
No. Hey, look, nobody's flawless. I've had to ask mid-scene. Sometimes you just drop a line. You can't think of what it is. Or sometimes, the other thing I give you too is, man, really listen to your co-stars. Really listen.
No, but I mean, listen.
Scenes with them.
Hold on, but I mean, like, do you black out where like you're so in the scene that the lines are so secondary? They're just coming out like singing an old Elton John song. You're not even thinking about them.
Yeah, it's the same sweet spot as we were talking about with stand-up earlier. You know you're in that, and then you surf it as long as you can. But conversely, there are days where you're like, I studied this goddamn thing all week, and you're going to have to tell me the first line of the scene every time before we start rolling.
Right.
So, but you learn all that. You learn all that as you go. Another suggestion I'd make is take the cast out to dinner, Sebastian. Jimmy Burrows gave me the best advice before Mike and Molly. Take your cast out to dinner, learn about them, learn about their kids, learn if they're married or they're single. Be concerned with them. You don't have to live their lives. You don't have to be their dad, but show some empathy, show some kindness, build your trust with them. Because if you don't believe you like each other, the audience ain't going to believe it. And that was valuable advice. And I did the same thing when my second show started.
Wow. Not only am I learning a lot in the acting world, and Pete, I don't know if you noticed this, the transition, this guy used the word conversely. When's the last time you heard that in a conversation?
No, it's been a while. It's been
certainly
a while.
not on this show.
I think the guy's vocabulary.
Hey, you guys, sorry, I'm starting to sweat. I'm in this rental car. You guys know, I listen to you guys. I'm a long-time listener, second-time caller. I'm a long-time listener, second-time caller, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
Well, Billy, we appreciate you listening, but Pete and I were talking on the last episode. We've had 2 guests on this thing our whole time, the 9 years we've been doing this, and it's you and JJ Watt. There's not really a wide swath of people we have.
I know. No, it's good company. Good company, brother. Good company.
Well, listen, Billy, we know you're sweating. We know you got to get the hell out of there wherever you're at, and we really do appreciate you being on the show. Thank you for the advice. I want to see you do stand up. I want to see you do stand up again sometime soon, and I guarantee I'm going to be giving you a few calls over the next 6 to 8 months, picking your brain a little bit more about this whole process.
Sebastian, anything you need, anytime you need, I'm always open. Correale, I love you as much as well. I love you.
Same,
both.
brother.
I respect you both. And I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. I do. And like I said, anything I said, take it or leave it, man. If it helps, take it. If it don't, put it in the rearview mirror.
Well,
You're
thanks,
the best,
brother.
Billy. You are the
Take
best,
care of
bro.
yourselves.
Thank you.
Much love.
Take care.
Later, pal.
I don't know. I don't know if they make them any nicer.
Right? No, it's unbelievable. It's like, if everybody was like Billy Gardell, I can't imagine how unbelievable this planet would be.
Also, too, just the way he talks about stand-up, he's right out of the old guard, timing, killing people, like just rapid fire comedy. It's definitely one to take a look at if you haven't seen Billy Gardell. Great guy and a huge friend of the cast here.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek, baby. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events, and every single day on SeatGeek, every single day, including sports, concerts, festivals, and more. I'm going to go see Springsteen, I think. I know he's doing a big interview coming up with Stern, and I am dying to go see Springsteen. And I think I'm going to use this thing to freaking figure out a way to go see him.
With the NBA season tipping off, playoff baseball underway, and the NFL in full swing, you're not going to want to miss out, all right? Plus, artists like Post Malone and Jack Harlow are on tour, people. They always want to make sure that you are getting a good deal. So when you're on your app, look for the green dots. Green means good. Red means bad. And you know I came through for you guys. Use my code THECAST for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code THECAST. Make sure you click on the link in the description to download the app.
Great hanging with Gardell. Again, you can catch him on CBS on Bob Hart Abishola. Season 4 is in high gear, coming off of Mike and Molly. Unbelievable. And then pretty soon, Chuck Lorre's going to have a new hit show on HBO Max starring Sebastian Maniscalco.
All right, Pete, get into what you had on the slate here.
All right. Well, I got an Italian take. I wanted to get back into that. So I put together, I'm going to try and have 5 every show. And what do you say we just kick it off and get started with it, all right? So the first one is no photo. But I was reading, long story short, about a president having a drink. And just your Italian take, this, and I'll tell you the law on this, but what's your take on a sitting president getting drunk, loaded? Do you think that should be something that a president of the United States should be allowed to do, or never?
Well, here's my question here in regards to the president and how he conducts himself in his personal life. Is there hours that the president has? Like, is there a day off where he goes, after I do this press conference on Saturday, I'm going to get ripped because Sunday I got the day off? Or is this guy working for 4 years straight with does he ever go, I ain't taking any calls today. I don't give a shit who calls. I ain't doing Ukraine and Putin today. Put it on the thing for tomorrow.
Right. That's a great question, right? Because you go, the last guy, Trump, golf. This guy goes to Delaware. They all do whatever, and they all get blamed for going away from the White House, doing whatever they do. But to your question, right? Like, even when Obama played hoops, like, in between timeouts, are they pulling him aside going, so Afghanistan, this guy, with that. And then he's like, hold on, guys, ba. And then he goes back in. Like,
yeah, like he could be playing golf, and after hole 9, they come up to him and go, listen, we can't put this off any longer. You got to get on the phone with New Zealand. So
that's right. I'm sorry, that's making me laugh, but it's true. It's true, right? Because, when you say hold my calls, who doesn't fall under that? Like, you still got to take that call. If you're president and you say, listen, I'm laying out on the beach today with my wife. I haven't spent a day with her, and we're going to have some drinks, and just, I don't want, like, literally no one gets through?
I don't know. But if I were president and I was given that responsibility, I would have to tell you that for me, I would say to my wife and my family, so you know, I'm not going to be drinking at all for the next 4 years. Because, the last thing you want is a staffer coming out of your office going, have you been in there to see him lately? And no, what's wrong? I think he's rocked off his ass. Like, I don't want that going through the White House and that coming out into the press that I'm getting, loaded on shots of Don Julio while I'm supposed to be negotiating a deal for a peace treaty in Cuba.
Right. But what if it's like, and the reason I was thinking of this too is like sometimes once every couple months if I'm on the road, I love at the end of the night, up in a hotel room, 6-pack of beer, my music, just hanging out, thoughts, doing whatever. Now, I'm not saying middle of the day, but do you think at like 11 o'clock at night, it's okay for a president to go back into his private study, knock back a bottle or two of wine? I did some research. Apparently, a couple of them loved their wine.
Who?
Thomas Jefferson loved his wine. John Adams was a wine guy too. But then there was a couple of them. One Obama made his own beer from beehives at the White House and served a honey type beer. Obama was a big beer drinker, and then Andrew Jackson was loaded at his inauguration. Right. So my question to you with this: if you were president, because I know you like your wine, let's say,
Yeah.
how many bottles of wine do you think it would take for you to maybe make if we were getting invaded, now you're too drunk to make a proper decision?
Now, I'll take you through my drinking as far as what gets me what. Last night, I had 2 glasses of wine. Lana and I split a bottle. Okay? Normally, that's about 2.5 glasses, depending how you're pouring.
Right.
Nice little buzz. All right? Nice little buzz. Nothing too out of, like not getting in any arguments or anything. There's no truth serum kicking in yet. It's just nice, fun, relaxed. Soon as I open another bottle and start dipping into that glass, then we start getting confrontational. All right? Start maybe like, not being as pleasant as I should. Not that I'm walking around the house slapping everybody. I'm just saying I'm getting a little like, it's weird with me. 2.5 is good. 3.5 to 4. I'm starting to like get foggy. I'm starting to go, it's going to be a rough day tomorrow. So I would think 2 bottles of wine would completely destroy any type of decision making I can do as a president of the United States, as well as, being the head of the household here. Decision making's out the door.
And then even the next morning, I'm going to be hungover, so I'm going to not make good decisions. I wonder if you're loaded as the president. You're in your office. You're about 1.5 bottles in, and you're thinking about something that went down with Italy that just you're pissed off still about, and you know they're already up. As the president, could you be like, get me the prime minister of Italy on the phone right now? And do you think any other country in the world, not counting our enemies, when they hear the president's on, they instantly, no matter what, get on the phone, or they'll be like, I'll call you back?
Not now.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the next one. Now, I want to start, by the way, bro, a new bit. I want to call it the P&S Couch Report for Patreon, where we review movies and TV shows we're watching, because we're watching a lot of stuff, and people are really starting to take our recommendations. So I think we should take it to that level. Already with the Dama, you know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So I caught an old movie, old Mission Impossible Rogue. I don't think I've ever seen this before, and I ended up watching it. Tom Cruise, obviously. Unbelievably awesome movie. The ending got a little annoying. But I have Patrick has this short clip here queued up. This is Tom Cruise. I don't know if you saw this movie, escaping. And the physicality in this move, I know he does his own stunts, and I'm trying to watch the camera. I need you to tell me if you think Tommy C did this move, or if this was like a stunt person.
Okay.
Play the thing, Patrick.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Watch the jump off. Boom! Oh, my God. That's it.
Bro.
I mean, how do you not?
All Tommy C.
There's a couple of times where he's doing the shimmy where the chain is in front of his face. And I feel like right there, right at that moment, that's a guy from like Cirque du Soleil. Because
No.
And then, can we see it again? Because the pop off, when he gets to the top, he doesn't just get, he goes.
Play the whole thing again. No.
One. Right?
Two.
Yeah, I can't. That's the, see, you can't see his face there. That last shimmy, I feel like that's like a guy Right.
Let's see here.
That's Tommy.
Him. That's him.
That's Tom.
Coming off.
That's late. That's late.
Yeah, I know, but still, that's him coming.
Right there. Let's see. Is that him?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Man, I think the face is superimposed. And then that's.
Well.
Oh my goodness.
Well, this guy's got hair on his belly. Okay, this guy's got hair on his belly.
All right.
And then when he comes off, does he still have hair?
Let's see. One, two,
Okay, let it play out after he flies off the thing. I just want to see. Yeah, you can't see that. Oh, yeah, he's got hair there. Yeah, bro, I think this is him.
Unbelievable.
Listen,
Unbelievable what this guy can do.
I got to get this guy's number.
Yeah.
Just to ask him about that. Was that you? Because could you imagine, like, if the scene calls for that and they go, Tom, just so you know, at this point, we're going to get a stunt double to do that. And he goes, no, you're not. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Just give me the guy that teaches that, and I'll master it in 2 weeks.
I'll know by Friday. Yeah, no. I mean, in that same movie, he dangles outside of a plane that takes off, and he's holding on. But that's not even as impressive to me as this pole shimmy. This guy is nothing short of a national treasure. Like, this guy is as important to this country as the Statue of Liberty and the Grand Canyon. I am sorry, man. He's a national treasure. There's nothing to be... Like, I said to Jackie the other day, if you, instead of an American flag, had a flag with Tom Cruise's face on it hanging out on the 4th of July, that's just as acceptable as an American flag. I mean, come
That's
on.
what it's becoming, Mel. This is the next movie this guy... By the way, another Mission Impossible is coming out, I believe, next year. Can't wait for the trailer on that. And he's got something else. There's another one that's coming out. Patrick,
you read the news.
What?
You read the news where he's filming his next movie, right? That's probably what you're talking about.
No.
Outer space. First person ever. He's going to make a movie in outer space.
What?
Yeah. I think he might be making one of these movies like, you know, one of these outer space movies, but instead of doing a green screen, the crew is going to outer space.
That's unbelievable.
Man. This guy, if he played Jesus in a movie, he would die, go to heaven, film in heaven, and then come back to life for the premiere on Earth. Tommy C. All right. Anyway, let's move on. I got 3 more to go. Boy, these are fun. Well, that's a little heavy, that one. I want to go right into that one. Okay. So a friend of mine, my neighbor, said that the True Green guy was doing the lawn, and he's like, I caught him taking a leak in the backyard, right? So I said, you know, like, were your kids home? I was like, no, kids are at school, but I saw him. And I go, well, what do you mean caught? And he goes, well, I mean, I caught him. And I was like, hey, you know, please don't do that. Now, my thing is, do you think someone doing outdoor service to your home, anything from siding the house, painting the house, landscaping, do you think they have free reign to take a leak outside?
I've wrestled with this question, all right, because we have an outside bathroom, and we noticed that the outside bathroom was being pretty much used as a, I mean, put it this way, they weren't just taking pisses in there. They were reading the newspaper. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
I never understood anybody who doesn't schedule their bowel movements to happen at home. It's very odd to me.
I agree. The shift is 3.5 hours. The guys are here for 3.5, cutting the lawn, trimming the trees. I'm not saying that in 3.5 hours you're gonna, you know, have to hold it. But if you could go somewhere that's not within eyesight on the property or behind something where it's not like overtly obvious that you're draining your mule on somebody's flowers. Yeah, I mean, that's acceptable. But, you know, for me, I did work around people's homes growing up, and I just didn't feel comfortable pissing in their bushes and then just picking up a hammer, you know?
Well, you know, you gotta like I used to mow lawns, and like I remember one guy would always have me dump the grass in the woods out back. So I'd always make a point of, oh, next time I dump the grass, I'll take a leak when I'm dumping the grass. But like, yeah, as a homeowner, I'm way more annoyed if you knock on my door and ask to use my bathroom than I would be if you just pissed against a bush in the backyard. I mean, I feel like,
yeah, guy comes in to paint your bathroom. It's an 8-hour day. If he shut the door and you heard him taking a piss, would you be like, the fuck is this guy doing?
no, of course not. But he's already in there. He's not, you know, he's already in there. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to go outside and piss. But if you're doing outdoor work, pee outside. You're working inside, you pee inside.
Okay, but let's say he's in the place in the living room. He's like, hey, you mind if I use your bathroom? That's fine.
Yeah, of course it's fine. Of course it's always fine. But I listen. You're lying if you say, and everyone knows this, anytime someone's doing any work in your house and they're using your bathroom, there is a party that's like, all right, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
Well, how about this? And I don't know if we discussed this on the last cast or previous. I got a guy working on my yard, and he took his shirt off. Did I tell you this? Did we discuss this?
No.
Okay. Guy's working on my pool. I look out there, and he's got like a sledgehammer. He's got no shirt on. And this guy's not in shape, right? So what's your take on, like, removing clothing during manual labor? Where are we at on that?
Oh, man. I mean, I almost have a keep the shirt on rule, except the only exception is if you got a sledgehammer. I mean, you know, I think a guy's using a sledgehammer. If he strips down to his underwear and boots, you got to let him do what he's got to do. I mean.
Well, I mean, listen, when you're driving on a highway and they're asphalting a highway and it's 90 degrees, you don't see the whole crew with their shirts off, do you?
No, but those guys are union, you know, they're like, you know, I don't know, it's a little different, right? They got to wear the vest so you don't hit them when you drive by. This guy's doing a pool, you know, no one knows he's even here, if you know what I'm saying. And, you know, he's hot. Well, I don't know how to put it, but I mean, it's a different, all right, look, cut that out, Patrick. Cut that part out, Patrick.
No one knows he's here. Oh, God. Holy shit. No, listen. I'm not saying you shouldn't take your shirt off. All right, especially if it's hot, you're doing manual labor. God knows, right?
Right.
But not only this guy took his shirt off, but then the guy went to go lay on the lawn during break and was shirtless, watching his phone like he was watching a movie. Like, this guy looked like he was in his living room.
Right.
Under a tree. What's your take on a shirtless worker at the house on break with no shirt off? Or no shirt on?
I think what's going on is such manual labor that until that pool is done and we start to get to the more intricacies, the sidewalk, then I feel like shirts start to be required. But right now, we are so bare bones, banging and doing such manual labor that whatever it takes. My concern, though, the landscape has come in. The weed whacking guy who does those layers of grass that take some time, he's always hot. He sees this guy with no shirt on with the sledgehammer. He goes, I didn't know we could go no shirt at the Maniscalco place. Next thing you know, his shirt's dangling out of the back pocket, and he's doing the fucking weed whacker for 45 minutes. I mean, you know, you don't want a precedent set. So
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, everybody that comes to the house, they pull in the driveway, and everybody's half naked doing work. Do they go, what the hell is this guy running here?
I know. The way this is going, by the time you fill up that pool, they're going to dip inside of it, man, you know? My question is there one guy in charge? What? What's up?
No, I mean, before you know it, Patrick's shirtless. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? And he's like, well, I don't know. I saw everybody outside, no shirt on. I'm boiling out here.
Yeah. Is there one guy in charge that you can go up to and be like, listen, you got to keep their shirts on. It's getting a little crazy. If it came to that.
You know what? This is a good question. I'm gonna ask the contractor if it's a common for men to have their shirts off while doing work while the family's home. Again, it's not like I'm sitting here going, put a shirt on. But I just want to know if this is common behavior in the construction community. I mean, shit, guy painting the side of your house. He rips his shirt off up on a ladder doing your cedar. You know, like painting cedar, and he's shirtless. Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, usually in the summer when I'm working around the house, the shirt comes off. I dangle it over a bicycle or something. And then if somebody comes over, they come up the driveway, like a neighbor or something, I'll put the shirt on as they approach because I don't want to make them have a conversation with no shirt on. But
yeah, I think that's a nice move.
Yeah, I think the shirt should go back on for lunch break. I think the shirt should go back on once the hammer goes down. So,
all right, what else you got in that sheet?
All right, hold on. I got one last one. I got two. Bro, what is your take? As your kids get older, these teachers, right? God bless them for doing what they do, but they go on Facebook. And, like, I saw a teacher recently. My daughter's school was into exercise. And she's doing exercises in her garage on her live feed, right? Doing squats and lifting and stuff. Do you feel as a teacher, one of the things, unfortunately, is you got to curb your social media, your social media game, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Or is whatever you do outside of school, like if you're someone who goes and drinks every night and parties at the bar on the rodeo, you know, Mechanical Bull, is it okay for you just to be like, woohoo? Or
if growing up, if I saw my second grade teacher, Mrs. Carlin, on a Mechanical Bull, as a student, I would have an entirely different outlook on my teacher. All right? I believe when I was going to school, bro, I didn't even think these people, be like, the teacher, that's all they do. They teach and they go home. Like, I didn't even think they even had like a husband or a wife or anything like that. I'm like, these people, this is all they do. They just think about educating. If I saw my Mr. Fitzgerald, my fourth grade teacher, in his garage doing lunges, I'd be like, I ain't listening to this guy when he talks about math.
That's what I'm saying. Even to your point, when I was a kid, you ever see, like, you just see a teacher, gosh forbid, with their family and in a store, and you're like, you have kids that you care about? I thought you only cared about us. You know? I mean, this is... So, yeah, and now you got these teachers. And I told Jackie, when I grew up, none of my teachers, principal, they didn't live... You don't live in the district you work. You live 3 districts over, so whatever you're doing there... You're getting a fight with your neighbor and you're cursing each other out. You know, half your students don't live on the block that see you on Monday, right? My principal now lives right down the block from us. He lives right down the block. He walks by every day. So it's
God. So like if you ride by the principal's house on a Saturday afternoon and he's got about 18 cars parked outside and people are going in for a party, don't you go, hey, what do you... It's just the school year, bro.
Well, he's got a rocking chair on his porch, right? He's a young guy, but I never see him in it because this is the sidewalks everywhere. He'll be sitting in it, and every 5 minutes, a kid will come by. Even my daughter, when he's outside and we go by, she gets so nervous. There's the principal. There's, you know, like, hi, you know. I'm like, what are you doing living right where you work, guy? This is crazy. You know.
Not only that, what are you doing with a rocking chair? It's a whole different look now. I got on the principal that he has his rocking chair outside. It's like, can you really listen to the principal when he calls you into the office? And you're like, you got to stop writing bad things on the chalkboard. My next thing would be, you sit in a rocking chair.
You got a rocking chair on the porch. He's a good guy. I don't know, man. All right, last one.
All right.
And listen, we try to educate here along the way as we go. I did a little online search, and this just really caught me. Have you heard about the experiment done in the 1930s with the child and the chimp?
No.
Patrick, can I get this photo up real quick? It's that photo I sent you. All right, I don't know how I came across this, bro, but this guy and his wife had a son named Donald. And, all right, there's Donald. And the chimp is Gia, G-U-A, Gua, right? So then they adopted this chimp when the chimp was 7 months old and Donald was 10 months old. And they did an experiment. All right, we can lose the picture. Thank you, Patrick, very much. They did an experiment to see if we raised the chimp like a child and put it in a diaper, everything you would do. Like he slept with that boy was his brother, so they slept together, they ate together, they did everything the same. Could you raise a chimp to be like a human, right? So they got about 9 months in, and they had to stop the experiment. You ready for this? Because the kid was starting to act like a chimp. What the fuck? They said the kids started biting, and then like what chimps do when they want to see people if they're there, they bend down and look under the door. So the boy would bend down. He was walking like an ape, and when he wanted food, he was making ape noises. So the parents shut the experiment down. They thought the chimp would be more like the boy. The boy was being more like the chimp. The chimp died a year later. The boy killed himself when he was 40 years old. They said they don't think he ever recovered from being raised with a chimp for the heart of his fucking childhood. And the parents went off and traveled the world and gave lectures. What the fuck? No jail for that shit?
Now, I'm sorry, but were the parents approached by the scientists and they said, listen, we'd like to do this experiment? Or did they offer up their kid going, hey, listen, if you need any type of research done with chimpanzees, we're willing to give our kid up to see what's going on.
No, they're scientists, and what they really wanted to prove, and they wanted to study, was children that are born. What if a child was born into a world with no humans? How would it, what would it become if you raised it just in the wild? So what they really wanted to do was take that boy and plop him in the middle of the fucking jungle with chimpanzees and see how that played out. But then they thought that was too mean, illegal and shit. I forget the word, cruel. So they thought, well, what would be equally interesting is let's get a chimpanzee, raise that thing with a diaper and see how that rolls. So, yeah.
As a couple, right? If Lana came up to me tonight and go, listen,
Right.
the guy at school, he works, one of the parents works in a lab, and they're wondering if we would like to have a gorilla live in the backyard with us. All right? Now, I would go, you got to be crazy, right? There's someone in the couple that's got to that's got to be, to pitch that to two people, and for two people to say, bring in the chimpanzee, you got to be crazy.
But they're scientists. It was their idea. They were already
they're
doing
the
stuff.
scientists. The parents are the scientists.
The parents are the You can watch. They have a video from black and white from when they did it, and they would put a blanket over the baby and a blanket over the chimpanzee, and then the mom would go over there, and you'd let the baby go, and the mom would go, come here, and then the baby would make its way over, and then they'd mark the path, and they go, see, the chimpanzee goes a little more, like it was just all studies to see who would act different, man.
Okay, did I ever tell you the story about the chimpanzee with the couple? The couple had the chimpanzee, they raised it as a baby?
I don't think so, maybe, but I don't recall.
Let me repeat the story, and if you heard it, then just cut me off. Out here in California, this is about, I'd say, 15 years ago, couple was raising a chimpanzee, right? And they basically called it their kid. They put dresses on it. They had birthday parties for it. Had a diaper on it. The whole thing. Slept in a crib. The whole thing, right? Well, as it got older, it started to become a little bit harder to control. This thing would get out, rip the neighbor's yard apart, start taking, shit off people's, it was causing chaos throughout the neighborhood. So the neighbors, revolted and they called the city, and the city came over, and I guess they told them, listen, you can't have a chimpanzee as a pet. This thing belongs in captivity or in the wild. So they brought it down to this sanctuary. So to appease the parents, they said, listen, you could visit the chimpanzee every now and again. All right? So on its birthday, the parents go down to the sanctuary. Now, chimpanzee is in a cage with another chimpanzee. Right?
Right.
So they come and
I'm on the edge of my seat with this guy.
They bring a birthday cake down to the thing, right? And the chimpanzee's in the cage, and the parents are outside at a table, and they're sitting at a table with the birthday cake, right? And now they're singing "Happy Birthday" to the chimpanzee. Happy birthday to you. And the chimpanzee's in the cage, looking at the cake. Unbeknownst to the couple, the cage was left open. It's unlocked. The chimpanzee gets out of the cage and fucking mauls the man. Takes his eyeballs out. It bites his toes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but chimpanzees, they go after toes and fingers, right? And they gouge this fucking eyeballs out. Fingers, shit. The guy left as a nub, right?
Oh, my God.
Now, I need your take on this. Did you think the chimpanzee got in a cage with this other chimpanzee, right?
Right.
And they got to talking in their own way, going, these motherfuckers for the last 10 years dressed me in dresses, gave me a baby rattle, put me in a fucking diaper, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they're coming to visit me today.
Right. Right.
Do me a favor. Pick the lock on this thing. I'm going to show these two who the fuck's boss. And it was a planned attack.
Right. Right.
Because he didn't do this when he was at the house. He did this now at the cage.
Yeah.
And the guy lived. I'm pretty sure you could pull this story up. It was a story here in California that was a pretty big story. I remember reading it, thinking, what the hell are people keeping a chimpanzee as a pet for?
Right. Right. Damn. You got to figure that chimp was nudging the other chimp going, remember those people I told you about? Fucking them right there. Right?
I got to think the other chimp was going, get the fuck out there. Beat the shit out of this guy. The audacity.
What would be unbelievable is after all that, he blew out the cake and carried it back into the fucking cage. You know what I mean? No sense in not having no nice velvet chocolate, right? Gee, well, that's, you want to say that's tragic, but is it though? I mean, come on, what are you doing? That's what happened with the study with the boy and the chimp, is they said that they also realized that after about a year and a couple of months, that's a maximum level a chimp can learn. Because what was starting to happen was, at that point, the boy was starting to say words and the chimp couldn't. So the chimp was starting to, use a little muscle, get a little rough with the boy. That's what dumb people do when they can't outsmart you. They fucking eat your fingers. Fuck.
Oh, man. Good hang today, bro. Love what you brought to the table. Really well curated production on your end with what you had. Totally different vibe here on the cast today.
Beautiful.
Pete doing some homework. I feel like I got to get on my horse now and bring some stuff to the show next time. But thanks for hanging. Pete, you have any shows you want to promote?
Yeah, well, I want to promote them all. PeteCorreale.com. I got a bunch coming up. The main one's coming up, Gramercy Theater in New York City, November 4th. Out here in Fredonia at the Opera House, November 11th. We're going to have a nice time on that one, too. But I got coming up Keswick Theater in Philly, Shank Hall in Milwaukee, Paramount on Long Island again, City Winery in Chicago, and the Hannah Theater in Cleveland, December 3rd. A lot of them coming.
There you have it. A couple shows on my end. I'll be at the Borgata the first 2 weeks of November. 10 shows at the Borgata. I just added a show in Manchester, New Hampshire, at the SNHU Arena, December 4th, 7 o'clock. And then I start a residency next year. I'm not touring next year, only in Las Vegas, a couple weekends. Shows are added January 6th and 7th at the Encore Theater, and Memorial Day weekend, May 27th and May 28th, SebastianLive.com for all your ticket needs. Good hanging with you, Pete. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to the Pete and Sebastian Show.